who, on average, if you hand a 7-month-old child a small rectangular object of any kind, the first thing they will do is swipe their hand across it. Yet we're seeing record numbers of preschoolers at later and later ages being able to do things like button the buttons, tie shoes. So again, we are more experienced in our bodies with doing things with screens than we are with doing things without them. The reason that I think this is so important is that if we look at people like trees, we all come from someplace. We come from a deep place of rootedness and groundedness. And parents, physicians, therapists, educators, we want to make sure that that soil that the tree of a child is growing out of is really healthy. So we are, addending it and making sure it's rich and nutrient dense, and we are making sure that it gets the right amount of water and that it's going to grow these deep roots that will support its growing up. The tricky thing is that trees are also impacted by the contextual elements that they grow up into. This is a tree near where I live on the coast, and it isn't, the coastal wind doesn't just automatically come to a healthy tree and then all of a sudden blow it over, but slowly over time the wind and the elements shape the development of that tree. And I believe that the technological winds that we are living in, the media winds that we are living in, are having a profound effect on the shaping of several things, and research is bearing that out. These are the areas that we are being deeply shaped and profoundly shaped as people by our over-involvement with the technological advances. Our bodies are seeing a profound effect. Just the way in which our bodies are developing is changing. The way in which we experience our own sense of self and the way in which we function out of that sense of self is deeply and profoundly changing, and I call that the intrapersonal impact. Our relationships and the scaffolding upon which we build them is profoundly different than it was even 10 years ago. And then the most new advance that we're seeing come out in the research, I have talked about this across the other domains before, but now I'm talking about it as its own domain, is our sense of embodiment. Just the sense in which we invade or do not invade our own skin. How much of our bodies we are engaged with at all times, and I think we're seeing less and less of that. So we're going to start there. Really, we have access as physiological beings to all kinds of senses, and our bodies have natural message indicators. However, what I have found is that the more engaged people are with their devices, the less engaged they are with their own kind of message indicators within their body. So any way in which we can get people to engage any one of their senses other than the sense of visual or auditory that we're receiving from screens, is a way of helping our embodied selves come more present. And that's really, really important, not only to just be a healthy self, but that's important to be able to